I want to say that everything that I'm teaching you will work most of the time. 70% of the times, these things will work. You can go to the bank, you can bet on them. But you never know when they will fail. Now, if these things failed all the time, or if they failed half of what you're saying, you give up astrology right from the start. That's why when I learned Western astrology, I wouldn't become a professional, because I couldn't predict accurately enough. And when I say predict, I'm not talking about future predictions. I'm talking about just predicting the natal chart, the brothers and the sisters and the marriage and the children, everything. Couldn't predict much at all the way I wanted to. It was more psychological. It was great for psychology and the person's experience. In the Vedic system, it's a predictive system and it will work. It'll work 70% of the time, but you will never know which part of the horoscope is going to fail miserably. And I always like to tell this story. There was a great prosecutor named Vince Bugliosi. This was a prosecutor that I believe never lost a case. He was just a brilliant prosecutor. And he wrote a book on the Kennedy assassination. And in that book, he said, let me just tell you, I have to tell you, in virtually every murder case, there are one or two pieces of information that do not fit. So you can show with 90% certainty this guy's guilty, but there's a couple of pieces of evidence that go in the other direction. So you need to be okay with that, as long as you're not getting a lot of those things happening. For example, the third house is the younger siblings, the 11th house is the eldest. Every so often, it goes the other way. The third house is miserable, and they say it's the eldest sibling that's really bad. This isn't common, but it happens. Also, with those things like endings of all matters, that will work for most people, but it won't work as consistently. Like, there's certain things in a horoscope that they work. The house that indicates that feature, if it's good, it works most of the time. If it's bad, it shows that it's bad, and it really is bad. But there are certain features that work better than others, okay? Endings of all matters, could be one of those, or is one of those.